Good morning, friends. We first year at that 1870s homestead. My name's Rachel, bright and early in the morning. And we haven't vlogged in a long time. Just because of time. It takes a lot of time to film just ordinary stuff versus purposeful, intentional getting something done. And it's a special day in the house today. We're celebrating my youngest son's birthday. And I am making some of his favorites. And I just have cleaning to do. The house is a mess from an all week, basically back-to-back canning session every night after work. So what I'm doing right now is draining 2 quarts of pumpkin because we're gonna make a pumpkin pie roll. At least I'm gonna try for the first time ever. So I just need to get this drained and, to get that consistency that you need, that you would get from a Libby's can of pumpkin. You have to drain home canned pumpkin pretty well. So just gonna tie it in a bundle and then hang it up until I'm ready for it. Alrighty. So yeah, that's how it goes. I do this every year when I make my pumpkin pies too. That's a lot of juice already out of it. You cannot use your home canned pumpkin just straight out of the jar to get what you need to make pumpkin pies and basically pumpkin puree, because there's going to be so much water content in it. So normally I'll do this the night before, and I told myself to do it last night, but I forgot. So we might get in there and do some manual squeezing and manipulation that would naturally happen if you just did it overnight. But I'm just going to leave it there because we are making also his gumbo. So I need to get ingredients prepped for that, and I'll see what else we get into today. So thanks for coming along with us for the day. Okay, so I have told this story before, that I grew up in Louisiana in my younger ages, I don't know, 3 to 12, and often visited, that in Texas was always home till much later in my life, when I finally learned to appreciate Michigan and realized this is home now. And but gumbo was a regular staple in our home, and I started to say that if you've not grown up in the culture and you have only ever had gumbo at a restaurant, say, and you go home and you look for gumbo recipes online, stay far away from any recipe that is quick and easy. 30-minute gumbo, 1 hour gumbo, whatever it says. Gumbo is something that you make with lots of love and time, and it should never be rushed. And I would say give yourself a 4-hour day to make pretty darn good gumbo. So I'm just chopping 3 onions right now. This is what we're preparing right now is the Holy Trinity in Cajun cooking: peppers, bell peppers, onions, and celery. And then you add some garlic at the end. Ooh, and these onions are already getting me. And I am starting on a pretty high heat, say medium high, and we'll turn it down to medium low as we cook. This is what we're making. It's called the roux. That is what we're working on next. And so to 1 cup of oil, you need 1 cup of flour. So this you cannot walk away from. You need to whisk it continuously. Once it starts turning chocolate brown, you don't want it to burn. Sorry about the noise, but I can't walk away from it. I went ahead and turned it down to medium that fast just so I don't burn it, so I can talk to you guys. But I'm gonna stir this continuously, and the color I like to get to is the old penny color. Like you found a penny on the ground, and I'm sorry if you're in another country, so I don't know what to compare that to other than, I don't know. It's like a dark reddish brown. I think we're pretty darn close. That's a dark milk chocolate color. And it really changes consistency. That old dirty penny color. Now we're gonna add our vegetables. And we're just going to cook these about 3 minutes until they're softened. 3 to 5 minutes. But you still want to keep stirring because you don't want any of that roux to burn. If you've ever had bad gumbo, it's probably because they burned their roux. And if you get in a trap and you need to walk away from it like I am right now, just completely take it off the heat. Turn this heat off. And I forgot my garlic, so I need to run downstairs and grab garlic. One last tip I would say is you should not, I'll say it like that, make gumbo in any other pot than a cast iron pot. The flavor it won't happen. So I have 2 things of chicken broth. Like before I homesteaded, I would always start with boiling the chicken with some celery, onions, maybe a little parsley, and I would start with that because then I would have the chicken for the gumbo and I would have the broth needed. So if you don't have broth, on the shelf ready, you could, or chicken canned. So like today I'm using my canned chicken. Just start with the process with boiling a chicken with some good aromatics so you have a good flavorful broth. Getting pretty close. I'm just watching for these this roux, or the vegetables in the roux, to really soften. Well, I'm about to run out of battery, so if I don't get to finish this, I'm sorry. But we're slowly adding our stock to it, to the roux. I'm whisking it in. So we are gonna let this simmer now for 2 hours. While that is simmering, I am going to be cooking up some, you could use smoked kielbasa or andouille sausage. Andouille sausage Andouille sausage is my preference, but I don't have that today, so we are just gonna go with our smoked kielbasa, smoked sausage. I'll brown that up. I'm gonna slice it in like lengthwise and then half moons. Then we will add it to the pot while it's simmering for the first 2 hours. Sausage is done. Got all those little good bits out of there. Now I'm at this time adding 2 bay leaves, and I guess I forgot completely. When I was done with my roux, I should have added a half teaspoon of cayenne powder to it before I added the broth, and just forgot, so we're going in with a hit of cayenne. I'm gonna stir that together and finish this 2 hour simmer. At this point, you could taste it for salt, but I'd rather wait till the end, till we're adding our chicken and all the goodness.
Appalachian sunrise, meets my eyes. Even with my eyes still closed, red golden. I'll follow on the golden, golden, golden things. Long laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden, golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things. Walk up the river that nice and deep step over the face of moon. Golden, I'll follow the golden, golden, golden things. Gold birds, gold string, gold words, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things, golden. I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
Alrighty, it has been 2 hours that we've been simmering this. I ran out to the store because I needed cream cheese for the pumpkin roll. And now we're just gonna add our chicken. If I have some parsley. Ooh. Oh, that smells so good. So I just have some boneless chicken that I canned. I'm gonna drain this off because I really don't need it any soupier, and then we'll add it. I'm just gonna like kind of break it up as I put it in there because some of these might be in pretty decent chunks. This one's pretty good. Sometimes I can my chicken in like great big chunks. You need about a pound of chicken. This is probably just shy of a pound. So I'll mix this together, and if I think it needs another can, I will. This is some of our old hens that we processed. Well, I guess it's been, was it last year, 2 years ago? And wow, that meat got tender canning. Okay, I think that's plenty. This I'll just save for a recipe later this week. Let me see if I can grab some parsley. I don't know if I have any. You You know what I do have that'll be close to it? Is I have carrot powder. So I will sprinkle just a little bit of carrot powder in there. All right, now this is gonna just continue to cook. It's 10 o'clock and I'll just cook it until it's lunchtime. We'll cook up some rice. And now this is not super thick, so I will serve it with filet powder. But if you wanted it thicker, you could add, you know, more thickening agent to it. I like it more as a soup than a gravy, but there's no right or wrong there. It's just preference. I grew up eating it as a soup. So, you know, take a nice little ice cream scoop of rice and then put your soup on it. Oh, it smells so good though. All right, ready to move on to pumpkin roll. It'll be my first time. I'm doing it with you guys, and then stay tuned because we're flipping the porch over to fall today. All right, I'm gonna start with a cup of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of baking powder, pumpkin pie spice, a tablespoon. Get that mixed together. Alrighty, and now we'll start with our wet ingredients. I need to grab my pumpkin pie puree. So it should be pretty drained well enough by now. I did give it a couple squeezes along the way just to help it out since it didn't have overnight to hang. And then the cheesecloth I'll just wash. Yeah, let me get that pureed real quick. You guys are just seeing all the inner workings of my kitchen today. All right. It's pretty darn good. We need to add 3 eggs to this. Need to add 1 cup of sugar. Get that blended in. Can we reach here? Okay, now if you did not have a immersion blender, you could totally use your beaters. I'm just wanting to dirty one dish after everything I've done and getting ready to host, not make a bunch of dishes. Now we're gonna stir in a teaspoon of lemon juice. All right, and add this to our dry ingredients. I was out shopping for groceries. I had to call Todd to see if one of my baking pans would work because you supposedly need a 15 by 10 baking sheet, you know, with a lip on it that's like a jelly roll style would fit. And ours is, he said 17 by 11. So we'll see if that works just fine. I might have to cook it just under time since it'll be thinner. All right, and you guys, oh my gosh. I mean, I really don't go grocery shopping anymore. The price of butter, holy cow. Todd doesn't tell me that kind of stuff. It was $3.89 for Aldi generic butter. I didn't even, like organic was like $5. I'm like, what in the world? So I went with the cheap. All right, so I'm gonna get this, Rachel. Get this all incorporated well. I don't want any lumps, so I may use my immersion blender just a little bit more to break up any of these clumps. And then we're gonna smooth it out on our baking sheet. Okay, that looks pretty darn smooth. And I will tell you, I just walked away and licked the spoon and it is amazing. Totally lickable. All right, we have our sheet and it's got a nice little lip on it so it'll hold. I'm just getting some parchment paper. I want it long enough that I can pick it up when it comes out of the oven. Oh, supposedly you just spread it out evenly as you can. I have the oven heated, preheating to 350. And I think we bake it for like 13 to 15 minutes. So it comes together pretty quick. But you do need like chill time in the fridge. So trying to get this done well before lunch. Yeah, I think I've got it pretty as even as I can get it. I'm gonna start with 13 minutes. All right, but while that is cooking, we can start on our cream cheese filling. So I'm just adding about 2 tablespoons of butter. The cream cheese I did soften. My microwave has a very nice feature called soften. And then we're gonna add a little bit of vanilla. And about 2.5 cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to get this blended together. And that's it. We just wait for the jelly roll cake part to come out. We will roll that up, let it cool, spread this on, just in case I don't show you everything. Roll it up again, put it in the fridge. Ooh, hot. I'm gonna put this in the fridge to cool.